So, at the end of this Giants game, so I have my nice football beanbag chair right here, and the Giants beat the Panthers, as you see right here. It has an L on it. That's what the Panthers get. And time to talk about the game. So, talking about another win that the Giants have, or you can call it the Battle of Field Goals, if you want to, because there was at least, I would say at least like 6 field goals in the game. But we'll find out if there was 6 field goals when I recap the game. So first, the Giants decided to defer, and then they kicked it off first, and then the Panthers fumbled it right when they kicked it off, and then the Giants got the ball, and then they next they had it in the red zone, and they couldn't even make one first down. And then they had to kick a field goal, and it was 3-0 Giants. And then the Giants had to kick it off again like normal football. And then the Panthers had it for the drive. And then the Panthers had it until they made it to the 50-yard line. They made it and made it into the Giants' 40-yard line. And then McCaffrey fumbled it, and the Giants got it again. And then the Giants again ran it into the red zone. Couldn't still make a field goal. Or actually, it was at the 30-yard line. So it was a 47-yard field goal attempt now, I remember. And I was at the game. And Gano, as usual, kicked it and made it 6-0. We kicked it off, and then the Giants, or the Panthers, made it in the red zone. And then when they made it in the red zone, they also kicked a field goal. And then they kicked it off to the Giants. And then we had to punt it. And then they got the ball, and then they kicked it into a field goal afterwards, and then it was 6-6. And then afterwards, the Giants had it after a field goal, and then they went down yards, and then they had to punt it. And then the Panthers got the ball and ended the field goals, and then they scored a touchdown. He threw the ball to, I don't know, but Mayfield threw a ball to a wide receiver. And then afterwards, the Giants got the ball back, and Jones wasn't doing good. Sills was open all the time. There was a lot of wide receivers, but he was looking at them straight, and then he wasn't going to throw the ball to him. And then he got either sacked or had to throw the ball away or ran and lost yardage.
Wait. I want to ignore this podcast for 1 sec. Don't mean to interrupt it, but take that, cats! I'm a dog, and you cat, and the panther is a cat. So, yeah. So, that's all I have to say, and doggy out. Woo.
So, yeah, this is my dog, Rocky. This is my stuffed animal. As you see, he has Giants on it.
And he's he hates cats, as you can see, the panther.
He's going to be in this podcast now. So, and then after that, the Giants kept on throwing the balls, and after that, Jones actually started catching up. Like, play after play, he was throwing first downs to Sills, and Sills. And then after that, he threw a bomb. He overshot it. And then he threw a ball to Mac, and then he made it into the touchdown and were only down by 1 point because the Panthers made their extra point. So now it's 13-12. Gano, of course, made the extra point and made it 13-13. And then it was halftime, and there was a cool halftime show there, and a drunk guy in the stands. And he was behind us, but he said some very weird stuff, so I'm not going to mention that. But it was kind of funny. But let's get back to the game. The halftime show was great. Everybody in the stands was loud. And they brought back the towels. I had one too. It had Big Blue on it. And then And then after that, every like third down on the Jumbotron, it would have wave those towels, and when it said quiet please offense at work, they wouldn't care for the Panthers and we just had noise. But that didn't change anything. But still after that, after the halftime, there kept on being punts, kickoffs, and just losing yardage until the Giants kicked another field goal, and then the Panthers kicked another one, and then the Giants kicked another one and kicked it off to the Panthers, and then the Panthers, I think, fumbled it again, and then the Giants got the ball back. Actually, no, the Panthers recovered it. And then, after that, the Panthers lost yards or downs on fourth down, and they had to punt it back to the Giants, which was they still had the ball, but they didn't get it. We got Christian McCaffrey behind the line, and then we just kept on randomly just running it with Jones, and then after a couple of plays, he kneeled it twice, and then the Giants won 19-16. Okay? And next is the end part of the postgame. And then after the game, we left the stadium, but there was so much noise in the stadium still, we heard it. And then afterwards, if you don't go to MetLife Stadium, there's a tunnel that takes you, and we go to Red's, which is a restaurant, and they have buses that take you to the Giants Stadium. They're like mini buses. And you take a tunnel, and then there's towers, but usually the tunnel is empty and has like very little people in it. Today, like, you wouldn't even be able to step one step without there being a person next to you. It was so full. There were so much Giants fans, and in the stadium there was no empty seats. And then everybody was chanting, let's go Giants. And then if you don't go in that tunnel, there's usually people selling stuff, and this saxophone guy that's always there, and on his saxophone he was playing na 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 na.
Copyright.
Hey,
No!
hey, goodbye. And everybody was singing it in the hallway. And if you don't know, I have a Trojan hat that I have, and it's Giants themed, and Manningham signed it, and at least more than 20 people said cool hat. I'll show a video after this podcast of what it looks like. And in the towers, it was still full a lot. And then we went on the buses. The buses, there was only like one Panther fan per bus. Otherwise, it was full. And like they had to fill the aisles with standing people. There were so much people. And then we got back home. And yeah, that's the end of the podcast.
And also, we will be featuring a different stuffed animal every podcast. And technically,
don't call them stuffed, they're real animals.
And technically, the first time we had a podcast, he was the animal. So like, yeah. But so we'll have a new one. Comment. You can say what you want about.
Yeah, and so that's it for this podcast. I'll show you the video of my Trojan hat.
But pick which stuffed animal we should.
And we'll pick the next stuffed animal for the Cowboys game, and he's gonna do the outro.
Oh yeah, let me go. So deep.